Alright, we are live. What's up, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Not so happy for me because I think I came out of the LAN party a little sick. It's not COVID, but yeah, we all tested before everyone came here, and I tested afterwards. I just have a persistent cough. So I'm trying to get over this right now, but how's everyone else doing? Yes, I do need to drink a lot of water. I've been drinking water all day. I'm peeing so much, but whatever this is, does not want to get out of my system. We had a lot of people in the pre-chat. Hey, Mike1360, thank you for the super chat as always, pre-stream. I don't know why you don't wait. I don't know why you don't wait until after the stream starts, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, what's up? We have Kevin Go as always. Kevin posted a pretty good deal from Micro Center. Scroll up if you want to see it. $180 for a motherboard and CPU. B450 and a 5600 from AMD, so that's pretty crazy. Hey, welcome back, Hill 130. Yeah, it's crazy. We got this heat wave right now in Washington, which it's not as bad as in some other places. But what's the weather looking like in Lynnwood at this moment? It's 84 degrees, which is today's high was 87, which is for Washington, it's pretty hot. But yeah, I actually I have a heater running under my desk right now, even though most people are super hot right now. Like the rest of the house is very hot, but I'm just very cold. So hello from Austin, says Frank. What's up? Hello. Hey dude, I have a question. What do you think about the Hyte Y60? That's the aquarium one, right? Yeah, the Y60, I'm not a fan of that for some reason. I typically am a fan of PC cases that are like this form factor. I don't know. Like, the Hyte Y60 has gotten so much praise, and I've seen so much coverage of it, but to me, it looks like an aquarium. I mean, I know sometimes I don't have the best taste in cases, because I just love cases with handles and, like, vertical tower cases, but something about the Hyte Y60, I don't think it's a bad case at all. I'm sure it's built well, you know, and it's designed well in terms of just consideration for building in it and all that stuff. But the aesthetic of it, I'm just not a fan of. So I never understood what the hype was of the Hyte Y60. But yeah, I like it because it does look like an aquarium. Yeah, so I mean, this is all subjective, right? Everyone has their own opinions, but I like cases with handles, even though sometimes they're ugly because of the utility of it. The current case I'm using right now not only has a handle, but it also has a very small footprint on my table. So that's why I like it as well. But let me switch over to the browser real quick. But yeah, this is the case they're talking about. I don't know. Like, it looks different and unique for sure, but that doesn't always mean like a good thing. It has this diagonal, like, kind of like a wedge side of the case, so I think this is a separate piece of glass that you can remove, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Let's see. All right, I'm on tech. Take it easy, drive safe. It's mid, says Jay-Z. Yeah. I mean, I like cube cases as well. So a lot of people don't really care about stuff like that. So it seems like it's a case that's doing well though. There's a lot of hype and a lot of people talking about it. Just not my thing. Shane, in Australia, we have the Ryzen 3 3300X in stock here again. I don't even know if we have that in the US. Let's see, if I try to look for a 3300X, can I find one anywhere? Nope. This is what we're looking like when we're looking for the 3300X in the United States. Oh wait, Amazon has it for $170. Seems a bit overpriced for a last gen 4-core 8-thread processor. You can get a 5600X for like usually $20 more than this right now. And yeah, definitely would not buy this. Look at Newegg. Someone's got it listed for 580 bucks. Yes. Best deal ever. So, okay, so before we start getting into, I did want to talk about Overkill PCs just because they, like, I think Greg made his video last Thursday, so that was one day after the stream, and then there's a lot of talk and coverage of it on social media and stuff like that. So we didn't get a chance to talk about it last stream because it, you know, it didn't blow up until afterwards. So I wanted to talk about that on today's stream. But so I also have a couple of things while we're waiting for people to come into stream, and usually we have a grace period. So I was gonna unbox a couple of things while we just waited and hung out. I went to the post office. I don't go too often, but I do go to check my PO box like maybe once or twice a month. And the last time I was there, I got 2 unexpected packages. So they're both from Amazon. So I don't know if it was someone out there in the comments that sent these. Thank you, I appreciate it. But yeah, so I got some of these to the PO box. I don't know if it's from viewers or if it was from like a company. I have had companies, like I think it was Gamdia's before, they sent me some fans. They just sent it straight to the PO box. So companies have sent me like hardware or products to the PO box, but this one I'm not sure it is. So we'll just open it up while we hang out. Did Zach point out that tech stuff just seems to happen on Thursdays? Was that on a tweet or on a video? I did not see that. Oh, what is this? So someone sent me an i7 11700. Now I'm trying to think if I should have been expecting this and I just totally forgot. Okay. Yeah, this was directly to my PO box with my name on it. So we got an i7 11700. Great. Now I gotta really figure out what this is intended for, or if maybe it was just sent for no reason. I don't know why someone would send me this though. So I'm gonna guess this might be a motherboard. It is a motherboard. A gift from me. Okay, so there is a gift. Okay, so here's a Z590. It's a Prime Z590 from Asus. So we got a motherboard and CPU that was sent to the PO box, but let's see if the person put their name. Oh, there's more in here. Some Mushkin RAM. This is 16 gigabytes by 2. It looks like it's 3200 megahertz. So we got some RAM too, as well as a Samsung SSD 980, a 1 terabyte. Oh my goodness. This is an expensive drive. So here's the Amazon. This doesn't have anybody's name on it. They were mislabeled. Yeah, well, it was 2 separate packages, so there's no way 2 of these were sent to me accidentally. And there's no way, I don't think I sent it. So yeah, it's 32 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz RAM. Yeah, so this is almost a full system minus the graphics card, power supply, and the case. So, okay. I need to check my emails and again, because I don't think someone told me they were gonna send me this. Let's see. No, it was. You can build. Yeah, I can build a new PC basically with this here. Yeah, I think I got it for free unless I owe someone something here. So it doesn't sound like anyone in the comments or in the chat was the one who sent it. So I don't know if it was just like a random kind stranger, but okay. So I will figure that out, or I will try to figure it out. Sounds like a prime candidate for a test bench rig. Yeah. Wait, Talon, should have been 3 boxes. Who was it? Talon says it should have been 3 boxes. What do you mean by that? I don't know if I okay. If you can prove to me that it was you, then I will believe you, Kaylin. But other than that, yeah, if you can tell me when the order was actually set, the day that it was actually set, because it's on the receipt here, or on the gift receipt, it says when the order was placed. So if you can tell me when that was, then I'll believe it's you. But otherwise, you're BSing. For some, no. So yeah. I definitely didn't buy this and forget about it because I don't send stuff to my P.O. box because that's just a pain to have to go pick up. Okay, so there's that, and then while we do that though, let me put up the membership shout out as always while we wait. Hey, can you help me find my first PC? My budget is around $3,000. With $3,000, there are some pre-builts, not from Overkill, but from other companies that you can actually get a pretty decent PC for like a lot less than $3,000. But we can do that later on in the stream. So we're gonna still do the Twitter stuff later on, but okay, so I want to talk about the LAN party a little bit while we still wait for people to join up on stream. So the LAN happened this past weekend. It was good. Can't wait to get the video out for that. But my friends pulled a fast one on me because they actually did a reversal and surprised me with something that, and they totally got me. The way that they like got me out of the house when we went Costco shopping, snuck it in, and then worked with my wife to be able to hide the gift. They totally got me, and I did not expect it at all. But this is what my friends tricked me into, and it was actually Jan who wanted to gift me this. So. And apparently they have been planning this out for months in advance. Like, they were DMing my wife secretly to try to, like, you know, figure out what they should get. And, they ended up getting me... Does anyone know what this is? Chat, can you... If you know what this is, type it out. Because... this is something that I've kind of been wanting for a really long time. And I never bought it because, as you can imagine, how expensive something like this can be. But, yes, correct. To the people who said Frostmourne. So this is a life-size replica of Frostmourne. So it's really heavy. Let me see if I think it's gonna... I have a scale right here. I think this is gonna be too heavy for the scale, but let me see if I can weigh it. This thing weighs... no way. Apparently this thing is only 8 pounds. But this, like, compared to an 8-pound dumbbell, I don't know why, maybe it's the awkward shape of it and the way it's spread out, like the balance. It feels way heavier than 8 pounds. Like, I'm gonna try to hold it out like this, and my wrist feels like it's gonna break. But, yeah, so... this will be in the LAN party stories video, but... this is what they got me, and... I freaking love it, so I'm gonna put it on the wall. It comes with this kind of... so it comes with this, so you put it on the wall, and then it... sits like so... I'm trying not to drop it and just completely break it. But yeah. So it mounts on this. And I'm just going to find a place for it in the studio. In the coming days. But yeah. So that was pretty cool. It felt different being on the other end of the surprise. I'm not used to that. So it was funny that how the lengths they went through to sneak it into the house without me seeing. Oh, another thing I got from the LAN party. I'm not sure if you saw my arm, but there's a ton of mosquitoes for whatever reason. So all this stuff is just mosquito bites. I got one on my forehead too, but I got mosquito bites all over my body. Like I was barbecuing outside and they were just killing me. So yeah, I don't know if my sickness is related to this. Hopefully not. What if it was like, can mosquito bites make you feel sick? I probably have over like 30 or 40 mosquito bites on my legs, arms, everything. So hopefully it's not related, and if it is, it's not permanent. I don't know the science behind if a mosquito bites multiple people and some of them are sick and all that stuff. Yeah, buy repellent next time. I wasn't expecting them. I was not expecting the mosquitoes to all be there. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Shane says, I get cold/flu symptoms from mass mozzie bites. Okay, so maybe that's why I'm sick, from all these mosquito bites, because to my knowledge, so I was the only one who's barbecuing outside while like everyone else is gaming or chilling inside. So I think I'm the only one who came away from the LAN feeling a little sick. So yeah. Was there a grill? No, there was no grilling stream set up during LAN. Setting up a stream during LAN would be way too hectic, especially since it would have to be hardwired in. So then you have to have long enough cables to get the cameras outside, and then you know how LAN. Oh, so before we start getting into the overkill stuff, I did want to show. So I'm going to show you how we set up during and then afterwards taking down the LAN. So I'm going to play that now. And there should be some audio, but so this is us. This is when before everyone got to LAN. So Jan was the first one who got there. So the first thing we had to do was we took the shelves and we got them out of the way so we had more space sideways. So then that was it set up. And then this is what the setup was like. So we had more space side to side with the rolling shelves.
Where'd you go?
Okay, so then afterwards, this is when everyone was gone. This is me putting the setup back together. So I really love how in the studio now, it's very modular. I can move everything all around as needed, and I could do it by myself too. So I did the cleanup and returning everything back to its normal place all by myself. So it's super easy when you get these carpet sliders for underneath the tables, because you can just push everything around and it's pretty effortless. So that's putting my desk setup back together, and then these are the island tables in the center, and then this was the end of it. So yeah, so that was what our setup for LAN looked like. It was just this right here. We had a total of 11 people, so very excited to get that video out. Did I serve bubble tea? No, there was no bubble tea served. We did have pho. Yeah, so we made pho. We also grilled burgers. We grilled chicken thighs, steak. We made breakfast like bacon, eggs, and tots, things like that. So, and then Dino Nuggets made it on the last day. We're about to rule out Dino Nuggets in future LANs, I think. There's just no more room for it, given that we eat like more healthy and like more fulfilling foods now. Like we've already phased out of Hot Pockets in LANs, so I think Dino Nuggets are next to go. Oh, and then we played LOL against Jason and some of the Dreller group down in Texas. We got our butts handed to us because most of us don't actively play, and but it was pretty fun. It's kind of hard to coordinate though. Trying to coordinate and game with other people not inside the LAN, it's kind of annoying because it's already hard enough to get everyone in their seats for during LAN to like game normally, then to try to get a secondary group that's not there with you to game. That Yeah, we gamed for I think like an hour total with the other group, and then that was it. I wasn't trying to set up anything more after that. It's too much. But how many LANs so far this year? So we had a LAN at the beginning of the year in February. So we always LAN in like January, February, and then like July, August time frame. So we had our second LAN this past weekend, and the next one's not going to be until early next year. So the next one is going to be at Jan's house. Jan just bought a house with his fiance recently, so they are going to be hosting the next LAN. That's down in Olympia, which is pretty deep. I think that's going to be like more than an hour and a half drive away from me. That's no traffic. With traffic, probably like 2+ hours. So, but that's going to be the next one. But, okay. So we're 20 minutes in. Let's start talking about the title and the thumbnail. So, if you haven't seen this yet, my apologies for me coughing throughout stream, but I can't do anything about it. I'm drinking as much water as I can, and it doesn't seem to be helping. So if y'all haven't seen this yet, Greg's video, you should check this out. Whoops, why did it not paste? Here we go. Yeah, so if you haven't seen this yet, this is Greg's video going over the situation, and just to give you a quick summary of it. So there's this TikToker, Circuit Board. So this is him right here. He makes TikToks on PC tech, but he also takes a look at like pre-built computers and all of that, and kind of gives advice. So he was looking at Overkill PCs and was basically pointing out how not overkill they are, but overpriced they are. Hey, Doback Slaps, thanks for the renewal. But he was basically pointing out that their prices were ridiculous, and he made several TikToks on it, and then the CEO actually responded, and apparently they got their lawyers to try to send cease and desist and things like that. So this sounds very familiar to what happened to Greg a few years ago, because if y'all didn't know, Greg, he made a video covering like this business in his local area that was charging like way too much for their services and their PCs. So he also got a cease and desist when he did that, and they were trying to claim defamation lawsuit and stuff like that. So that's what's going on with Circuit Board. So there's like two things kind of wrong here. One, Overkill trying to silence creators for pointing out like just not even subjective things, but objective. We're talking about PC parts and the prices associated with them. Oh my goodness. All right, let me stop here. Okay, we just got a ton of gifted memberships from Doback Slaps. Thank you. Thank you for that. I think Doback Slaps is just trying to make every single member of the stream members. So thank you. I appreciate that. Doback, where you at? You should say something in chat too, because we all appreciate you for allowing people to spam emojis. How was LAN, by the way? Oh, how hot was LAN? It was pretty hot. It was like 90 something degrees, but we have AC at our house. So AC apparently doesn't really matter when you have 11 PCs running, a lot of them being powerful PCs. So yeah, that's one thing to note during LAN. Definitely plan out like whether it's in the winter or summer, the heating or cold situation, as well as the different circuits around your house. Make sure you don't trip the breakers. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I did have to go back and do something from last week. So last week I missed a super chat, and I hope the person was a little upset that I missed it. I don't know how I missed it, but when it came through, oh, it was Mitchell O. I'm not sure if Mitchell O, are you in the chat? Let me see if I can tag you. You are not. So Mitchell O sent a $5 super chat, and I totally missed it last week. It was about the bottlenecking with an i3. So unfortunately, he's not here, so I can't quickly shout them out. So before I upgraded my home's AC, I did one LAN where I had to add in. Yeah, so some of my other friends' houses, they don't have AC, like central heating and cooling. So like at James's house before, Nick has brought his AC unit and we stuck that in the window. So we have had to deal with having no like AC built into the house, and then people have brought their portable AC units. Okay, but we're getting off track here. So with the Overkill computers, trying to silence creators for speaking on objective things, just talking about pricing, comparing pricing and computer parts, that never works out well. If you try to take down creators like this, or like especially smaller or medium-sized creators, and you try to use like bullying tactics, like getting your lawyers to come after them, that's never a good idea, because we know that the PC tech community kind of stands together. If you look at Overkill PC's TikTok as well as their Twitter, a lot of anything that they post recently, a lot of people are in the comments giving them crap. Like, let's see, this one's July 26th. If we go here, it was because of the cease and desist letter, wasn't it? So what they also do is a lot of giveaways, so a lot of these comments are usually like asking for a free PC. Hey Overkill, this isn't a throwaway account, please stop telling me that it is. They are awful PCs. Of course he freaked out, but it had nothing to do with your ceremony. It was due to your prices. By the way, for this joke getting banned from your Discord server, you guys doing everything in your power to make it worse for yourself. So yeah, the PC community kind of bands together when companies try to pull stuff like this, as well as should the cease and desist or like the legal stuff for circuit board ever elevate to like, you know, a level that he can't financially handle it. I am certain that bigger tech content creators like Gamers Nexus, Linus, Jay, Hardware Unbox, they will all hop in and, you know, and try to help out the situation. So I don't think circuit board has anything to be really worried about. But well, one, because he has a community behind him, but two, because I don't think Overkill has anything to stand on. Like, there's nothing defamation or defamatory about what he's doing. And I think if this was taken to court, it would be an easy win for him. So if I was on TikTok, I'd follow him. Yeah, I don't use TikTok either, so I don't know of all the different tech talk content creators out there. I know a few of them through Twitter, but yeah, there's like a whole other like community and like group of creators on TikTok that I'm just like completely unaware of. But I wanted to take a look at some of their PC prices, because how bad could it be, right? So if we take a look at their website, I mean, to be honest, the website doesn't look bad. It looks pretty decent, but if I wanted to find, yeah, and this looks pretty standard compared to every other pre-built website. Like, they have a firm, so people who want to finance their PCs, which, I mean, how does a firm usually work in terms of the interest rates? Honestly, I'm of the mindset of, you know, if you can't afford it and you have to finance it, just wait for when you can save up enough money, unless this is like, I don't know, you need this for your business or something like that, which I don't think that's the case for most people. A lot of people are just buying this to like game and stuff like that. But if you already have a working computer or something, or, you know, if you can't afford this, I would just say be careful. Just take out loans against anything. I mean, there are things where there's no arguing that you should take a loan against, like taking a loan for your house, maybe a car, even though I like to buy a car outright, but, you know, a car and your house are, and then like for school. A gaming PC is not necessarily as high on the priority list for most people. So 27.5% interest on late payments. Oof, if that's true, that seems kind of predatory. But if you go to their gaming PCs, their PCs start at $2,000. So I was taking a look around. I can't find anything cheaper than this. So they have some really weird prices too. I don't know what's going on here. Are they trying to make it a nice round number after tax, or what it is? But 2128, 2724, 2878, So that's how these builds are. And then the armory. So these are the ready to game computers, and then they got their armory stuff, which is stuff that's like 4,000 bucks basically. But let's take a look at, you know, I feel like most people in this chat are looking at this range or cheaper, but there's nothing cheaper than the Apex. So let's take a look at this here. I want to get, Joel wants my perspective on Shopify's 1,000 plus layoffs. I don't really have a perspective on that. I mean, I don't, like, has Shopify been reporting like record profits and then laying off a ton of people, or are they like in the red this year? I don't know anything about Shopify, so I can't speak on that. But for this build, we got a 2128, so $2,100 roughly PC with 5600X, RTX 3060, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a B550 motherboard. It is an Asus ROG Strix, so that's kind of a pricey board. AMD stock cooler, 2 terabyte spinning hard drive with the 500 gigabyte SSD, 700 watt EVGA, and then a Fractal Design Air Pop. So there are some parts in here that aren't like low end or mid tier. Like the Fractal Design cases, they cost a little bit more than what a typical case that like a budget builder would use. So there may be some reason to justify a little bit of a higher price, right? But most people are gonna care about these two things right here: the RX 5600X, or not the RX, the Ryzen 5 5600X, and the RTX 3060. Master Singleton just used his super chat to look at Lyte Technologies. So we can take a look at that afterwards. So we'll bring up Lyte Tech. So yeah, so what I wanted to do was put together a PC part picker list that's basically the equivalent of this. So we can do that pretty fast since they have all the parts listed out here. So I'm gonna build the exact same PC that they listed. Every time this capture, it gets me. Just looking at a build like this, I mean, given the, like, a 5600X is about 200 bucks now. A 3060 is maybe 450 to, I think it's like probably 450 around. We'll see a bit in PC part picker, but 16 gigabytes of RAM, that's dirt cheap. So I'm thinking the system, just base parts alone, shouldn't be more than like $1,200-ish. So let's take a look. Oh, did I fail the captcha? Why am I failing at picking boats? Okay, let's do the PC builder. So we're gonna do this 5600X. So those are 189 right now. So we're gonna quickly add that. They don't have a CPU cooler actually. They're using a stock one. So the motherboard is an RG Strix. I'm curious how much this one costs. So they're using a Strix, is this the Wi-Fi one? They do not specify. Is there Wi-Fi? I don't see anything about Wi-Fi, so I'm gonna assume they're using the non-Wi-Fi, which is 175 bucks, which is kind of overpriced for a B550 board. They got 16 gigabytes of memory, Corsair Vengeance. Okay, that's fine. We got Corsair Vengeance LPX, that's 58 bucks. Nope, I picked the wrong one. Sorry. We probably want to pick the 3200 megahertz one, so 60 bucks. I accidentally picked the 2133 first. Alright, so we're going to choose the storage. We got a 500 gigabyte Kingston. Alright, they don't specify the exact model, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was... Overkill is located in Florida. I forget which city, but they're probably going to be using not... Okay, you shouldn't really spend 75 bucks on a 500 gigabyte hard drive. You can get 1 terabyte drives for that. So I'm guessing they're going to be using something around the NV1. They could be using something that's like 10 or 15 bucks more, but we're just going to choose that for now. We're just trying to go for a rough estimate here. They don't say which 3060 they're using. So we're just going to choose the one of the cheaper ones. So the You can get a 3060 for as low as $384 right now. That's surprising on Amazon. Oh, it's a single fan one. Ooh, okay. I don't think they're gonna be using one of these, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and use a slightly more expensive card. We'll go with the dual fan one. So this one's a little more expensive. It's found for $389 in multiple places, almost 400 bucks. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and not just choose like the cheapest parts. So add a 2 terabyte Barracuda, which is 50 bucks. Yep, that sounds about right. And then we gotta choose the case, which is gonna be the Fractal Design Air Pop. You can bet they're charging tax on that too. Yeah, so we're gonna have to put tax. But when you buy, I think the tax is gonna like even out. Because I'm gonna have to look at tax from this PC part picker list, and they're gonna add tax on top. So I guess you're gonna be paying tax on like whatever their labor charges, which is looking to be $800 to $900 on their upcharge. So they're gonna use a Fractal Design Air Pop. I think it looks like they're showing the colored ones, so we'll choose one of the colored ones down here. Well, you choose the green one because that's in the picture. All right, what else we got? Power supply, EVGA 700, 700 GD. I'm just gonna assume they don't say if it's the bronze or the gold one, and from the pictures I can't see. Actually, they have a video here of the build, so let's see if we get any details on it here. Oh, they're using RGB RAM. This video style is like TikTok, so if they're using RGB RAM, we're gonna have to change that. But I'm gonna choose the more expensive. Again, just gives them the benefit of the doubt. We're gonna go with Corsair Vengeance RGB for the memory. Corsair Vengeance RGB 3200. Okay, 70 bucks, so a little bit more expensive. CPU cooler, okay, we got everything here. Additional memory, I think this is the build. Seagate Barracuda, Kingston MV1. What profiles do these companies fit? The profiles that they fit is one. This is the exact same way with Artesian. If I'm not wrong, didn't Artesian have around $200,000 to $300,000? So they have a big, massive following on like Twitter or on social media. They make these kind of like, I would say, cringy videos.
Against this, you'll have to see what like win a gaming PC with art from the world-renowned artist Ganga, but you can't see it just yet. 2 Chainz, LeBron James, and Lil Uzi Vert are just a few of the stars that Ganga has tattooed. As Matt unboxed the GPU, he went into full tattoo fever. And for the record, I advised against this. You'll have to see what he got at the end. Alright, Matt, let's stop being a baby. Let's get that EVGA.
So like, I don't know. The way they do their marketing, or like this TikTok-y short form video stuff, to me honestly it's pretty cringy, but I don't know, maybe this is what the younger crowd eats up. But yeah, so the profile I'm talking about is like having a pretty egotistical CEO from what we've seen, and this is publicly, so I'm curious how they act behind the scenes, not on camera. If you watch Greg's video, let's see if I can find that part.
Overkill computer.
So, mortar and
what we do, and unfortunately we have one employee that has made it his mission to defame Overkill computers. And to those people, I would say, what you're doing in darkness will soon come to light. And as a Marine vet, I have a lot more respect for people who aren't cowards. Now I know without a doubt, all my employees here love what they do. They give and get respect. I personally go above and beyond to make sure they're taken care of.
so yeah,
I don't know, that you could just kind of feel the ego oozing out of his face, especially when he brings up the fact that he's a Marine. I'm not sure how that's supposed to help his case. I think I've seen multiple people in the military actually speak out and say that they're kind of embarrassed at the fact that the CEO did that. But we've got these companies that are overcharging for their computers. They seem to be led by like egotistical CEOs, and they have a massive following on social media. And I think the following that they gain is due to running a ton of PC giveaways. Artesian ran a lot of giveaways with I think there's social media accounts that help run giveaways, and it spreads and they have like, you know, millions of followers. So it helps more people learn about whoever is giving away the PC, and then they can gain followers that way. Because I'm not sure if they still use what is it, Gleam? Gleam, I think, removed the ability to make people follow you, but there are other giveaway platforms that still make it so that you have to follow to be able to enter to win a PC. So that's the kind of like the profile I'm talking about. It seems like these very massively successful boutique builders, they also, well, Artesian and then now Overkill, and there's other companies that I've seen out there, and I'm not going to say anything at the moment just because some of them are seen in good light even though they have some pretty overpriced computers. Can you think of any boutique builders that you've seen that doesn't have any drama going on right now but has stuff way overpriced? Let me know. And then yeah, Death Tech in the chat is also a Marine vet, so I don't think he's taking kindly to what the Overkill CEO was saying in his videos and in his response. So Lyte gaming PCs, we'll talk about in a second, but I think we're done with this list here. Hey, it came into about $1,100, which after tax is going to be $1,200, right? I didn't miss anything. Maybe we can put an operating system in here. Ugh. I don't know, honestly, I don't know where these companies get their OSs from. Do you think these companies are actually paying $100 for Windows to throw on every system? What I'm thinking is they are either using way cheaper keys and then saying it's $100 Windows key so that they could upcharge it when it comes to like the total. But yeah, there's no way they're paying $100 for Windows. But if someone knows otherwise, like if any of you out there know any boutique builders or have talked to them and they say they actually spend $100 on Windows key, then let me know. But now if we add the Windows key in, we do have $1,200 or about $1,300 after tax, and this has everything in there that their build has. So let's just keep rounding up, give them more the benefit of the doubt. Let's assume this is, now we got to add in labor, right? Oh, this is what I wanted to run a poll on. So my question to you all is, how much is the max you think is, or how much is the max you think is okay for a company to mark up a pre-built PC over the cost of parts? And I'll put no that's in there. So let's go 100, 150, 200, 250. Okay. Now, okay, before you answer this though, you have to assume that not everyone can build their own PCs. So I guess the way I'm asking this question is, if you had to help out a relative that's in like a different state than you, like you can't build them a PC, but they're asking like, hey, can you give me a recommendation for a pre-built PC? When you go to a company's website and you find one and you add up the total of the parts, how much would you be willing to, you know, allocate towards the build fee and still recommend it to your friend or family who is looking for a gaming PC? Because I have to specify that, because every time I ask a question like this, people are going to say, I would never pay a company to build for me. I would just build myself. Yeah, that's not the question though. You have to get it through your head that these companies have overhead fees, or overhead costs rather, as well as paying their employees and things like that. And they have to pay taxes on the profits that they get. So, you know, they have to charge some certain amount for putting together a PC. And that's how they can operate and stay in business. So let's see how much people are saying. So what is the max that you would be willing to pay? Not what you think is reasonable, but like if you saw a build and you're trying to help someone else, what would the max you, like for this build, for example, we're coming out to, let's say, $1,200, including the cost of the OS. What do you think would be a reasonable price to charge for if this was sold by NZXT or Overkill or Lyte or any of these companies? We're looking at $150, which I think that's my vote too. I think $150 is pretty reasonable and fair. Because I think shipping is gonna be a different cost. Like if I added, let me add this to cart. This is probably gonna make them all like, oh, someone added something to cart. Let me check out. Let me see. Discount code, okay. Oh my goodness. There's actually a 123 fake street. Are you kidding me? This actually popped up as a pre-fill. 123 fake street. Nice. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, we're gonna continue the shipping. Hey, congrats on 7 months. It's unbroken. Thank you for the support. All right. Oh, shipping is free. That is surprising. Or should we say shipping better be free if you're going to be charging $2,100 for the system we just put together for like $1,200 to $1,300. Is this Shopify, by the way? So I know nothing about online like e-commerce and stuff like that. Is this like a Shopify environment? I don't see anything that says otherwise, but Death says Overkill CEO snacking on a crayon while he built the site. Alright, what's Kale saying? But with those prices, it seemed like it was almost a $1,000 markup. Let's see. Okay, so some people are 200. So yeah, we've got 144 votes, and most people say about 150. Okay, so I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. Now, does your answer change if the PC is, I guess, higher end? So right now we're looking at, I'm thinking most people in their heads are thinking like $1,000 to $1,500 system. Yes, $150, which is about 10% on a $1,500 system. But if you guys saw the most recent video I put together, the ASMR build video for my friend James's computer, a build like that takes a lot more to put together. Did you see the cable management in that video? It was ridiculous. Also with the AIO, just installing AIOs, all the RGB connectors, all that stuff, it's a lot more effort. So let's say you have a $3,000 PC. So you're gonna have way more fans, way more RGB, just way more, more storage drives and stuff like that. Would you say for a $3,000 PC, a markup of say $300, is that reasonable? Because that's 10% of the cost. But a $3,000 PC takes way longer to build than a $1,500 or $1,000 PC. $40 an hour. What do you mean? 300, 350 I feel fair. For high-end custom PC, I'm willing to pay $1,500. Oh wait, what did Joe bring this up and I missed it? I don't think any parts are hard to find now. So like, we just built this system effortlessly, and most of the parts are coming from Amazon or Newegg. There is one from Andorama, but we could have easily picked something from Newegg or Amazon. B&H, they actually ship out pretty fast, surprisingly, because I think they're East Coast. When I order from B&H, they come into like 2 or 3 days. So 3090 is definitely still hard to get for companies in bulk. Custom water cooled build. Well, yeah, custom water cooled. That's different. for if you're doing like hard tube bending and stuff like that, you better be or if you're wanting someone else to do that, they're not just gonna charge 300 more. They're charging a lot more. You can ask Death. Like Death Tech had a service where he actually did like custom hardline tubes for customers and stuff. And Death, if you wanted to let the viewers know like how much it could, you know, cost in terms of labor for doing hardline tubing, let them know. But yeah, I would definitely expect to pay in the upwards of like $400 or $500, if not more, for that labor. Yeah, because there's, yep, liability and skill, exactly. The extra cost of a PC should be depending on how long it took to build the PC. Okay, but isn't there's a lot more to just building the PC, right? Y'all ever sat and just like installed Windows and did do updates, drivers? Man, I'm scratching so much because of these freaking bites. So there's that, but also procuring the parts and just putting together a parts list. I know everyone in here is like an expert computer builder, so they could go and whip up a PC part picker list in like less than 10 minutes. But how much would you charge for that? For, you know, if you consider that a specialized skill for other people who can't do it. And then after that, how long does it take you to go and buy all the parts and procure them? Because I'm not sure about you, but whenever I have to go buy parts, especially if I do anything to use market, but I guess brand new is not as bad. It's time that you're saving from someone who's not skilled at that. You can't look at it from your years of experience. I think there's a really good quote, like, you're not paying me for the time I built your PC, which could take like 30 minutes to an hour. You're paying me for my 10 years of experience or whatever. My 10 years of perfecting my craft and skill. So yeah, it might take you 10 minutes to put together a PC part picker list, but remember the first time you ever got into PC building? How long did it take you to do research, watching videos, going to forums, going to Reddit, to put together a build list to finally buy the parts? I'm sure that didn't take you 10 minutes. So that's the time being saved for a new customer who are the types of people who are looking for pre-built. So I'm not trying to be an apologist for these pre-built companies charging like a crazy amount, because obviously what Overkill is doing is ridiculous and bad. But that's what you have to account for when you say how much a company should be allowed to charge on top of the parts. There's a lot of stuff that you have to factor in, because running a business is difficult. I would never run a PC selling business. It just isn't worth it to me. There's so much more that could go wrong. And then there's the warranty and stuff too that no one ever like considers when a company gives you a warranty. Overkill, I think, is doing horribly, but there other companies are doing it right. Hey, congrats on 9 months, Christopher Kunin. Death Tech says, part of my water cooling fee is insurance against my own incompetence if I make a mistake. That's a good point. Wow, dude uses Shopify. Is Shopify gross? What are the other platforms? I just have no idea, because I don't ever run any like e-commerce stuff where I'm selling things online like this. So what are the alternatives to Shopify? Is it Squarespace, or is Squarespace and Shopify, or does it integrate that? Y'all need to catch me up on this side of the internet that I'm totally not knowledgeable about. How much is a good price for a GTX 1080? They're coming down to like $200-ish. Compared to a store that offers to build a PC for you, my place costs $20 max, even if it takes 3 hours? What? So you're saying there's a place nearby you that has a $20 build fee, and it doesn't matter how long the PC takes to build? I kind of don't believe that, and if so, they must be charging for it elsewhere. Because if they're charging exactly like cost of parts plus 20 bucks, you cannot make any money doing that. It takes more than $20 worth of time to put together a PC and get it set up with like an OS and everything. Micro Standards build fee $150, which seems fair. Hey, it's Joel says, "Aw, he misses my comments, lol. So what makes Shopify best for most people? The support, and it's honestly really simple. When you try to customize past it, you run into issues. What? How are so many people like this knowledgeable about Shopify? Do you guys run your own shops or something? Like, what would give you a reason to know a lot about Shopify, outside of you actually using it for your own like e-commerce store? Oh, you work there. Are you one of the people who got laid off in the 1,000 layoffs that you just talked about? Is that why you brought it up? Hey, it's Joel. If that's the case, I'm sorry that you got laid off. That sucks. That's why you asked. Dude, I am sorry. Did they give severance or anything? I don't know the full story behind it, so I can't speak on it. Like, is it like one of the cases where they just, I guess, overhired at some point in time and now they have to trim the fat? Or is it because they're just super greedy and they they're making record profits, but they want to cut employee costs while basically forcing all that work onto the existing employees that are still left behind? So you know how that works, right? When someone in your company gets fired and then their work gets spread out all around and your pay doesn't go up, but your boss still gets promotions. Corporate America for you. Shopify equals greedy, says Kevin. No. Okay. Okay, so what do you guys think is gonna happen with Overkill? Right now, they are not posting very much at all on their Twitter. So they post a little bit. So this is the exact same thing that happened to Artesian. Like, people pointed this out too. They have 300,000 followers, but if you look at the stuff that they post, like, the interactions is not reflective of it, probably because most of their followers were gained through the PC giveaways, and people only care about winning the free PCs and not actually the company as a whole. So they post all this stuff, and they haven't been posting too frequently. I think after the whole thing happened with Greg's video releasing, as well as, you know, people hitting them up on social media. Artesian 2.0. I wouldn't say this is exactly like Artesian because it's totally different from Artesian, right? Now that I think of it, it's similar to Artesian because it's just a crappy, business practice, but they didn't cheat themselves or anybody else out of a giveaway, which is illegal. They're selling very overpriced computers, but so that's kind of like just predatory to people who aren't knowledgeable about computer parts and how much they cost. But aside from those things, I don't think I guess the cease and desist, sending a cease and desist isn't really illegal. I think it's just kind of scummy to try to silence your critics. So, yeah, I don't think they've actually done anything illegal, but I mean, if you were to say we'll run another poll. Who's worse? Artesian or Overkill? Hey, Joel says, can't say much due to NDA, but basically stock prices tanked. They split in a 10-to-1. CEO isn't taking a large pay cut, and they killed off their entire team. 10% of their employees. Oh, so they have around 10,000 employees. The amount of money, especially for a company like Shopify, the amount of money that CEOs get paid, normal people like me and you can't even fathom having that much money. And the fact that they could probably not get paid again for the rest of their lives and be okay. The fact that they came and take like a pay cut to keep employees around, save people's jobs, that's kind of sad. Thanks for the reminder, Chris. Origin PCs are the most overpriced? Okay. Yeah, but is their stock price drop due to the split though? Hey, it's Joe just said it was a 10-to-1 split. So yeah, if it's split, then you're expecting it to drop by so who is worse? So people more people right now are saying that they think Artesian is worse than Overkill. And I think I would agree with that. J Rose just became a channel member. How come that did not pop up in my... Oh, there. Oh, jeez. It's the gifted membership. We got a bunch of gifted membership. Again, by Doback Slaps, as always. Doback Slaps, thank you very much. And to everybody else, the fact that you're in the stream and able to get the gifted memberships, I have to thank you for that too. Because you are here and are allowing Doback to gift you. So thank you very much, Doback. Thank you to everyone else who's here to just even receive it. As a receiver, you get thanked as well. Can I say both are worse? No, yeah, it's worse. Not which one is bad, because you could agree or you could argue that both are bad. But worse means there's one that relative to the other is worse. Welcome to the new members. Overkill is stealing from you and you're willing. That's far worse. I'm sorry. Artesian is a bad management owner, but they weren't killing consumers' pockets. I wish Artesian's website... Can we go on the Wayback Machine? Artesian's builds were pretty pricey. I don't remember off the top of my head how much of an upcharge they had. But their upcharge was definitely more than 150 bucks. I think it was probably closer to like 300 to 400 bucks. Well, when I did look in the past. 323 Splat. Are Jawa products tested before shipped to me? So Jawa products, you need to treat it very similar to like eBay or OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace. You're not buying from Jawa per se. They are just facilitating the transaction. You're buying from other users out there who are listing on Jawa, similar to how they would list on eBay. So you could message the person and say, hey, can you make sure to test it before you send it? But also Jawa has a they have a, I guess, buyer protection program, right? So if someone sends you a dead part and you test it and it's dead, you do have a grace period where you have to do it though. So don't buy until you're ready to, because you don't have all the time in the world. You can't just sit on a part for like a month while you wait for the rest of your parts to come in and then try to test it and then find out it's dead on arrival. Then you're kind of screwed. So yeah, just be aware of that. If you're buying Apple, you're used to paying a premium anyways. I don't want to get into the whole Apple debate because I know plenty of PC gamers. Actually, so let's finish this poll. We got, who do you think is worth, Artesian or Overkill? Most people agree that Artesian was worse. Okay, so I'm just curious about people because we do have a predominantly like PC user base here, but I know there are people who do game on the PC and like use Windows and all of that, but they still see the value in Apple products. I personally don't ever have a need for Macs or like iPhones, so I would never pay the premium for it, but there are people who would. Lil Toro says, I think their justification is they weren't able to buy GPUs wholesale. They bought GPUs at a markup similarly to Artesian builds. Yeah, so that's one of the things that we should talk about. Some of these companies, they did buy graphics cards you know, because they have to keep them on hand. So they probably are sitting on stuff that they bought before the prices dropped down. Like earlier this year when everything was like double the cost of it that it is now. But still, you got to find other ways to offset the cost. You cannot pass all of that to the customer, because customers are buying right now in summer of 2022 when the prices aren't that high. So you made the gamble of buying, you know, overbuying cards, and you're sitting on a stock of that you overpaid for. You cannot expect for the customers to bail you out and buy them from you for a ridiculous price. Oh yeah, DeathTech is official Jawa staff, so if you have any questions about Jawa, be sure to ask DeathTech. His name's Ryan. He's super chill. Yeah, he can help you with anything if you have any specific questions. So honestly, I've talked to other system integrators. Not all of them buy directly from the manufacturers or the distributors. Some of them operate from buying straight from Newegg or Amazon. I was talking to one system integrator, and they were saying how the distributors, they're slow to update their pricing relative to the market right now. So to buy from the distributor, like if they wanted to buy right now, it makes more sense for them just to buy directly from Newegg or Amazon, because those prices, Amazon and Newegg prices, they get updated super quick depending on what's going on in the market. Whereas distributors, sometimes their prices lag. So yeah, not all system integrators buy directly from manufacturer and distributor. The Walking Navy SEAL meme. What is the Walking Navy SEAL meme? Okay, I gotta watch this on my own because I've never seen this. All right, so we're about 1 hour into stream. It sounds like some people had questions and they wanted help with stuff. So if you have any specific questions or PC part picker list you want me to quickly take a look through, or if you want to showcase your new build or your setup or anything like that, details on how to do that down below. You gotta tag me on Twitter. Please say who you are on YouTube just so I can know that I'm talking to you. But in the meantime, while people are getting their submissions in and their questions, someone wanted to take a look at Lyte PCs. So here's Lyte PCs. Lyte PCs by Funware. What is by Funware? Did they get bought out? Whoa. Funware. Okay, blockchain company. Is that related? Funware closes acquisition of high-performance computer provider Lyte Technology. So it looks like they got bought out. Hey, it's Joe says, how long do you think the RX 6600 will be a viable option for 1080p 60 plus gaming at high settings? In years? I would say 2 to 3 years. It depends. For most games, I would say 2 to 3 years. As long as companies aren't trying to just keep pushing, or like either they push out games that aren't optimized well, or they're just trying to like put an overabundant amount of textures and things like that people don't need, especially at like 1080p high, then I think the 6600 should last for at least a couple of years. 2 to 3, I think is pretty safe to say. And even then afterwards, if you're not playing all the AAA titles, but you're playing other stuff that's being released that isn't super crazy graphics intensive, it could even go for longer. But yeah, if you're comparing it to games like Cyberpunk, if the new Cyberpunk that came out every single year, if you're compared to games like that, then of course it's not going to last as long. But not everyone cares about games like that. I could give a crap about Cyberpunk, to be honest. What do you think of the rumors NVIDIA is waiting until next year to release the 40 series? I've not seen what the basis of those rumors are from. So the rumor right now is that NVIDIA is holding out on... Because remember, wasn't it supposed to... Didn't someone say like July like mid-July. RTX 4000, where's that at? But dude, do I think Nvidia is holding that out so that they can sell off their RTX 3000 series stock? Honestly, I don't know. If they're doing that, then they're missing out on a lot of money that is a guaranteed sale from their RTX 3000, 4000 rather. Like if they release RTX 4000 right now, it would be sold out, and it would probably be sold out for weeks, if not like a month, if not longer. There's a lot of people who are just waiting on it and have waited through the whole pandemic, but they keep wanting to wait because they feel like it's right around the corner. So I feel like those are gonna get snatched up, and then there's always gonna be the reselling market. People are gonna buy them even if they don't need them because they know it's gonna be, they could fetch more for it selling on the secondhand market. For people, you know, because it's a high demand, low supply commodity. September was supposed to be RTX 4000 release in reality. They're trying to push it further to sell leftovers. First of all, what RTX 2000 series cards are they still trying to sell? I don't know a single website that has those listed for the correct amount. So I think RTX 2000 series, those almost, like, those barely existed. Yeah, wait for the panic sellers when the 4000 series is announced. Honestly, I think hardware unboxes advice is the one that I tend to lean towards. If you need something right now, buy something that and it's gonna be AMD. Like, buy yourself an RX 6600 unless you need something higher end. Then you could go up the whole RX 6000 series stack, and everything is priced under MSRP by quite a bit. So Kevin Go posted a 6900 XT from Micro Center. Where was that one? Kevin, did you still have that one? I should have pinned it. They had a ridiculously priced one. Oh, I think it was this one right here. This is a power color, but it looks like the reference design. Look at this. The other week we saw this at $799 and we thought, oh yeah, that's pretty crazy. You can get a 6900 XT for $700 right now. Is the RX 6600 comparable to the 390 when it launched, like on the hierarchy? No, I wouldn't say so. I would say it's more on par of like the 380. Like the R9, R9 380, RX 480, 580. It's kind of like that bread and butter, and it used to be $200 target card for the masses. That's what the RX 6600 is. It's the 330 because price has gone up, but it is like the bread and butter, like medium range graphics card that is very affordable and should be like most of their market share in terms of, you know, how many sales they get. It's super affordable, within reach for a lot of people, and it gives you that, you know, 1080p gaming experience, which is kind of sad, right? You would think that going from 2014 to now, an entry level card shouldn't always give you just like a medium to high 1080p gaming experience, but especially with 1440p being pushed a little bit more nowadays and how cheap the monitors are getting. DeathTech says never believe. Yeah, I would say that. Yep, I would say the 390, because the 390 competed with the GTX 970. Which I would say the 6700 is on that kind of upper, almost high. It's like the medium, upper, higher tier. So 6700, kind of similar to like a 3070, which the 3070 is analogous to, at the time, like the 970. Yeah, 290X and 390. Those are all like similar ballpark. I'd say the 3080 cards are a decent value that will last you comfortably a few years. Yeah, but those, I think those are actually below MSRP now, right? We're gonna go to Newegg. Lowest one, nope, it's not. But you got your AIB, you know, fees or costs associated. So 750, I think this is what we saw last week. So, I mean, it's a 2-year-old card. It was announced back in end of 2020, right? So the fact that it's still, this isn't even being sold by Newegg too. Boring unboxing store, Zhao AO store. So, yeah. We're supposed to look at Lyte PCs. Let's take a quick one. They got their pre-builts. Their website completely changed. But let's take a look. What do we have here for $1,100? A Ryzen 5 5500. Ooh, so what is convenient about them, and I wish every company did this. Every company needs to do this so that they can be transparent. But they got the costs broken down. See, this is kind of where I would send an email to them if I were to actually try to buy this. A Ryzen 5 5500, the cost $199. I would send them a link to this and say, can you put in this $199 processor into this build? Because I would much rather have a 5600X than a 5500. Okay, then they got 16 gigabytes of RAM, which they don't say what it is. But they are charging $89 for it, so it better be RGB at least, because if they're just giving you some T-Force Deltas that are worth really only around 50 to 60 bucks, then they're being kind of, you know, what's it called? Kind of scammy. But even if their prices are off, I do appreciate that they break it down so that you can look and you can determine why is the cost what it is, and you can more quickly determine if they're BSing or not, which I can already tell you based on these two, they're BSing. Look at this price, RTX 3050, $360. So they're making it very easy to see if there's good value in this build, and I'm not seeing anything. 512 gigabyte NVMe, those are going for like 40 to 50 bucks. So they're they got another 20 bucks on here. B550 mobile 110 sounds about right. So they're good there. $60 for a Gamdius 500 watt power supply. Power supplies are all over the place. Like, I'm not going to give them too much. Like, we know RAM and we know SSDs have pretty fixed pricing. Power supplies is kind of all over the place with quality and things like that. So, I'm not going to say too much there. They got the Gamdius case, which 90 bucks sounds reasonable. Windows 10 install. I wonder if they're using gray market keys because they're only charging 25 bucks. Hopefully, they're not using gray market keys. Hopefully they're using actually somehow legit keys that they're buying from Microsoft or something. But then the stock cooler is free. So the parts price, if you add all this up, is about $1,000 and then $100 build fee. So I like the transparency here. I do not like a $360 RTX 3050. We could get a 3060 also for that, I think, right here. We just saw that, right? 6600, where's it at? Okay, 390. So for 30 bucks more, you can get a way better card. So, okay, let's take another look at the build and then we'll go to the Twitter stuff. Oh, Windows 10 install and stress test. I would have to assume that this comes with an OS without the watermark. Otherwise, they would say unactivated. That would be the scummiest move to not specify that Windows is not activated or not. But okay, wow. Here's a cheaper one with the 1650 in it for 900 bucks. Where's 2,000 bucks? Let's look at a $2,000 build. So we looked at like about 1,000. Let's look at this one. Okay, so then we've got a 5700X. I thought those were below. I thought those were below 300 now at this point. Yeah, you can get them on Amazon for $250, and that's Amazon. So as a company who's procuring like a lot of these, you would hope that again, they could be sitting on stock that they got a while ago, but still, $330 is a little expensive. Same for the RAM, a little bit overpriced here. RTX 3080, they don't specify which one, but it is 10 gigabyte model for $929. Okay, 1 terabyte SSD. Man, this 1 terabyte hard drive for $60 is kind of pricey. 1 terabyte drives are like $40. They are not this expensive. So again, they got like, they're making like $20 here, $20 there, $30 here, $40 there on these markups. 1 terabyte NVMe. I wish they would say what model it is, because there's some that go for like $75, and there are some that go for $120. But these 120s are gonna be the Samsung ones that are pretty expensive. So we got the motherboard again, which is fine. 750 watt gigabyte. 750 watt gigabyte. Which unit? Vetroo mesh RGB case. $120 for a Vetroo case? Is that for real? Yep, looks like it. Vetroo case for 140. They put 120 on here, so I'm sure they get some kind of vendor discount. Deep Cool 240 AIO for 110, and then Windows. So on here, we're seeing a little bit of they have a fixed build fee, which, I mean, I would rather they up this build fee to 150 or $200 and then not charge, or, you know, be more honest with how much these are going for. But $2,000 for a 5700X and RTX 3080 doesn't sound too bad. It's nowhere near as bad as Overkill. But I'm going to give them props for their transparency here. So this makes it really easy if you go to PC Part Picker and you look up individual things, like what they are charging up for. So honestly, so in terms of Lyte, have you guys seen their commercials? Or their ads rather? I'm gonna end the poll. So I've seen these ads pop up when I watch other tech content creators. So that these ads pop up from like Google AdSense and stuff, because I guess they pay for it, and I always found this to be like super cringy and not funny, but maybe this marketing works. Like the way that look what he's doing with his hands. He's doing like the little finger pointing hands, and he's just like doing Drake Hotline Bling type stuff, just the whole video. I don't know, it's awkward, it's cringy, trying to get girls in their freaking underwear in here. But their PC I'm not gonna knock them where it matters, where their breakdown of pricing. So Jason Plays Games 2 says, yeah, it looks like they were hired by NZXT to make NZXT look good, or whichever pre-built company. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats, because sometimes I do, and then people make me feel really bad about it. So, okay, I didn't miss anything. So, is Dollar Shave Club still around? Yeah, so it seemed like they were trying to copy the marketing strategy of Dollar Shave Club. But now we are going over. Oh, I don't think there's any Twitter submissions. So if that's the case, that works out. There isn't any. So, all right, we're just gonna chill and chat and see what people want to talk about at this point. Unless you want to look at other pre-builts. So we've looked at quite a bit. Well, we looked at 2 light gaming PCs and then Overkills, and then we did the PC Part Picker equivalent. It feels like they stopped doing sponsorships. Yeah, I don't know. When I see an ad, and this light gaming PC ad was one that I saw a lot. Like, I saw it multiple times a day whenever I was watching like PC related content. I saw it so much, it just got to the point where it's actually annoying. And then look at this guy. I think he's trying to like sea walk in the corner here. Oh my. Okay, Sazuo. How do I convince my parents to let me spend my own money on a PC? Well, how's your relationship with your parents, Sazuo? I think when I hear that parents aren't trusting of their kids to do things like buy PCs or consoles and stuff like that, I guess my first assumption is that you don't have like your parents don't trust you. Like, how are you doing in terms of school, in terms of your responsibilities at home, things like that. Do you listen to your parents, and are you a quote-unquote good kid? Let's start with that. Because if you disobey your parents, and you're just like a handful for them, and you're, I don't want to say it, but if you're an annoying little shit, then, I mean, I don't know what you can do except to change your behavior and stuff. But why won't they let you buy a gaming PC with your own money is my question. Check out HP Omen PCs. Okay, HP Omen. Let's take a look. I don't like the cases that HP uses. Let's take a look at a $1,500 build. That's a pretty reasonable, like, I think a popular price range. Let's see the full details. Hot summer sale. Save up to 75% on hot deals. 75% is not going to be on a full gaming PC, I can tell you that. Yeah, HP Omen, I don't know. Something about... Their PCs look like they would be a pain to carry around to LAN parties because of how big and bulky they are, and just like... kind of like what Gamers Nexus I mentioned in the past, overly designed in the case. Like, this just looks so unnecessarily big and tall, and like how much volume it takes up. And I imagine just, yeah. HP Omen are a scam. It's all proprietary parts. Do they show an actual... Why is this like the tiniest picture in the world? Yeah, so if you are ever considering an HP Omen PC, do not just get information from the website. I would try to look up the exact build you're trying to get on YouTube and see if there's anyone who does like a breakdown or teardown showing what's inside. Because yeah, with HP, I would be very wary about the power supply and the motherboard. I think everything else should be fine. I guess they also oftentimes have their own proprietary graphics cards as well, which aren't always the best. Like the cooler design seems kind of lackluster, but... for $1,500, let's look at the specs, what we're getting. We are getting a 5800X, which is pretty solid. You could upgrade to a 5900X, but then it starts off with a 3060. Okay, then you get 16 gigabytes of 3733, so you get a bit faster RAM than usual. Most companies do like 3200, 3600. Did Sazuo ever answer the question? Sazuo, did you answer the question? Why don't your parents want you to spend your own money on a PC? I'm very curious. Then you have a 512 gigabyte. Yeah, so this... There's much better value to be had elsewhere. Someone said to look at Apex PCs. Okay, let's take a look at these. All these companies and their Apex, Overkill, Lyte, I guess. Gaming PCs. Cause he got in trouble before with the PC. Oh. Okay, let's see. So let's take a look at here. So we're gonna compare it to the $1,500 Omen. What is this? Why do I feel like... So I hate it when companies do this, by the way. Are you telling me that I have to get lucky to save some money today? Is it because your PCs are overpriced? And some other person who's buying the exact same PC as me at the exact same time, they could get a coupon for 10% off and save potentially hundreds of dollars, and I'm gonna have to pay the full price because this stupid wheel tells me that that I didn't win anything. No, I'm not gonna give you your information. I'm not spinning this. Okay, Apex PCs. Let's take a look. So $1,500. So we're gonna compare it to the HP Omen, which has a 3060 and 5800X, and then standard everything else, right? 16 gigs of RAM, 500 gigabyte hard drive, or SSD, which is kind of sad, actually. When your system, again, I'm going to keep stressing this, when you're over like $1,000, definitely when you're a $1,500 system, there needs to be at least 1 terabyte SSD in there. There's no excuse not to put one in there. If you have to, you know, lose the 30 or 40 bucks for the upgrade as a company, do it, please. I guess companies that care about the customers would do it. Let's just say that. Okay, so in here we have a 12600K, so a KF, 120 millimeter AIO. What's the point? Honestly, I don't see the point of this. Either get a tower cooler or go up to the 240 or 280. B660 motherboard, 16 gigs of RAM, 1660 Super. Holy. You tell me the HP Omen for about the same price has a better graphics card selection or option? Look at this SSD. 250. Who wanted me to take a look at Apex? Is it because you knew it was horrible value? Or is it because you were potentially trying to buy from here? We're talking about a 256 gigabyte SSD in a $1,500. Apparently it was marked down from $2,000. This hurts my head. Something's going on here though. I think they mismarked this. They put 11600 here, but I'm pretty sure it's a 12600 because of the motherboard it's being paired with. So it looks like they had a typo. Yeah, this is a horrible value. No corners cut, they said. I don't know if I agree with that. I would say 256 gigabyte SSD is a huge corner cut. Their power supply is EVGA or Corsair or an Apex. What the heck is an Apex power supply? That does not like buy confidence in me. Yeah, Redux, I did a video on build Redux. Here's the unfortunate thing. So when build Redux first came out, they sent me a PC to look at, and at the time, this is also pre-pandemic, so I don't know like if a lot of things changed. But at the time, their pricing was really good. They had a low build fee, and compared to PC Part Picker, their prices were like pretty much spot on. But over time, I don't know if they did that, and then over time, as they gained more reputation, it seems like a lot of companies do that, right? When you're first starting off, you have to have low prices to bring people in the door. But once you develop a reputation, you slowly increase your prices because people, you know, the people who got the PCs at lower prices recommended you to other people, and then without realizing the prices went up. So let's take a look at Redux, because curious what they have. It's been a while since I've looked at the website. Build Redux. So, see, I'm even on their website. Linus. Here's Mark from Scatterbolt. Who else is here? Tech by Matt. So I think for the most part, most people give build Redux at the time, because remember, this video is like 2 years old at this point. Let's see what their pricing is. So their lowest cost PC is $1,500. Then it gets close to $2,000, then $2,300-ish. And then their ultimate, which has a 3090 Ti for $3,600. We're going to take a look at the most affordable option that most people, I think, can afford. About $1,500. And I'm going to give them props too. So let's see, Lyte PCs does it, Build Redux does it, and NZXT does this. Let's keep pushing for companies to be transparent and doing price lists like this. But okay, they got the Intel Core i5-12400F, which is about $179. You can sometimes get it for cheaper, but I'm not going to make it too big of a fuss there. You got 16 gigabytes of RAM for $70. Okay. Don't know if it's RGB or not, or what speeds, but we got the Hyper 212 RGB, which is $35. That sounds about right. TD500 from Cooler Master for $99. Sounds also about right. B660 motherboard, $150. Asus Prime. This seems a little overpriced. They do charge for the Windows $120, but I could have sworn Oh, you can customize it. So let's go to customize. So for the Windows, this is what I like. Windows. So what the Ubuntu desktop install no support. I thought they had an option where they could do Windows unactivated. All right, Dominic Brown super chat. Take a look at Alexander PCs. I was considering before I decided to build a PC myself. All right, we'll take a look at that too. But we're gonna finish up build Redux. So Apex, stay very far away from. Build Redux, we're still taking a look at. So for Ubuntu, they still charge you $30 for the install. There is no support. Yeah, because it's 120 and they subtract $91. So you can choose that option and the price goes down. Their build fee went up. It was $75 when they first started out, right? But I mean, I guess they could justify it with inflation or the economy, all that stuff. Build fee is now $99. Still very reasonable. All right, we go down the parts list more. We got the Hyper 212 Evo for $35. That's about right because Cooler Master coolers are just overpriced for whatever reason. Cooler Master fans, 4 of them, RGB for $30. That's fine. We already went past that. So this motherboard, the pricing here doesn't seem unreasonable. They do have a 3060. How did I skip this? $470 for a 3060. That's a little overpriced. Maybe, I'm very curious. If you are considering buying this, just send them an email and say, hey, why are 3060s going for less than this on Newegg and you're trying to charge this much? See if they would even respond. I'm thinking their answer is going to be they bought a bunch of them when it was still overpriced. Thanks for the reminder for the water drinking. Man, my lips are so chapped from all this talking. But yeah, build Redux, I think just looking at these, aside from the, let's look at the graphics card. What can we put in there? 3060 Ti for $569, 3070 for $713. So their pricing, ooh, they're still charging, as you go up in price, $1,400 for a 3080 Ti. Like this 3080 is probably gonna be the best deal out of all of them. $350 for a 3050, yeah. So 3080 percentage wise, I think because we're seeing them for what, $750 on Newegg, I think this is gonna be the most reasonable choice to pick from here. So the good thing about Build Redux is you get to customize, you get to like add more storage, even though they don't tell you the exact brand of what they're using. You can modify it and it's not just locked in at these, and it updates it with what they are telling you the per part is. So I like the transparency. I'm not sure if, I think there's other places that have better prices, but now we're gonna move on to Alexander PCs, which Alexander, okay, kind of like the what is that, is Alexander Greek or Roman? But their website, very interesting. They're using, what is it, serif font with the little squigglies. Let's look at the products. Okay, Mohammed Beg said, what about Alienwares or Corsair PC configurator? Seriously considering them for purchase. Mohammed. So Alienware, for the most part, is going to be overpriced. We can take a look at Corsair, because, see, there's so many system integrators out there. And it's all going to come down to what is most important for you. Do you care most about getting the best price? Do you care about a company that's been around for long enough where you know their warranty is still going to be in place if you have problems 1 to 2 years down the line? Do you care about a company's reputation with how fast they respond to like RMAs and things like that? And if they are just good about, you know, trusting the customers and no matter what, they will fix your problem. Those are all things that have some value to them, but it's not a part of the cost of the parts. It's not part of the build. It's not part of the shipping. It is a part of their warranty and customer service that they do not attach a price to, aside from, you know, however much it is over the cost of all of the things I just listed. So, we can take a look at the Corsair stuff too. But this Alexander PCs, I've actually never looked at this. So let's take a look here. Let's look at their products, and we're, okay. So their PCs, holy, they have 4 pages worth. I'm gonna sort by low to high. So we're gonna see the hoplite. Okay, Legionnaire. So they're picking a bunch of stuff from history, like different soldiers. Okay, so we have a $1,600 PC here. We're just gonna take a look at one PC per SI, just to get an idea. So what do we have here? A $1,600 system. They got a firm, so you could make payments towards this. Something about this font is just so annoying to read on their website. So you do, wait, please, okay, they do list it out. I was about to say, if everything was just in these paragraphs. So here's the build, looks good, kind of weird cable colors there, but sure, I guess. But pretty standard built computer, looks like. But let's take a look at the specs. We have a 5600X, 3060, B550 Wi-Fi motherboard, 16 or 32 gigabytes of RAM. Oh, and you pick that up here. So it's defaulted to 16. You got a 1 terabyte SSD. Thank you for including that. Operating system, you got Windows, 650 watt EVGA, Corsair, 220T. Okay. An additional RGB exhaust fan, sleeved extensions, lifetime parts and service. How long has this company been around? Lifetime parts and service. Lifetime. Would you trust that? I'm curious how many people actually think that is true. I just ran a poll. Lifetime, huh? There's probably some fine print. I don't see it here. Terms of service, warranty. Lifetime warranties, which covers the original core computer. Core computer is defined as all the hardware inside the computer case. Yes. Excludes any special order parts which were specifically requested by the original purchaser. Okay. AMD video cards are considered special order parts and are warranted for 2 years. Okay. So some of the stuff don't get lifetime warranty, like AMD video cards. During the lifetime warranty, the company will, at its sole option, repair or replace any defective parts, okay? With new, used, refurbished, recertified. So you might not get something new in return. Which honestly, I'm just reading through this here. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Because offering a lifetime warranty, in my opinion, is already ridiculous to begin with. But, I'm trying to see lifetime warranty and the 2-year warranty on AMD cards are all limited as follows. Yeah, so they got, look at this. If you take a look at how many times warranty pops up in this, there's a lot of fine print to read here. So if you care about warranty and are willing to pay more for it, make sure you read this to understand what you're paying for. But, so for $1,600, we're looking at like a $300 to $400 markup here, given the specs. We're looking at 5600X, RTX 3060, 16 gigabytes of RAM. This one does have a 1 terabyte SSD and some nice stuff like some cable extensions. But still, at the end of the day, this is like a $1,200 system. So for $400, you're paying for the build and a little bit of extra like bells and whistles, and then apparently a lifetime warranty. I would say there are better, if you care about value, there's better PCs out there to be had. But, alright, what was the next one people want to look at? Corsair PCs? One word was missing, says KL130. It did not say guaranteed. Lifetime warranty guaranteed. There's a lifetime warranty. But is it guaranteed? Okay. Let's see. Wow, Corsair has a ton of different configurations, but let's show 60 items, and we're gonna look at the same thing. Can we get a $1,500 PC with an RTX 3070 in it? That's what I'm looking for right now. I think NZXT might have that. Come on, NZXT, don't let me down. So the stream, so we would have to look at the streaming series, and then they have the little upgrade you do. $1,600 streamer plus PC. Are you gonna give a 3070? Here you go. You got a 5600X, a 3070, and then what else is in here? 650 watts C650, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD. I think this is the best value one we've seen so far. People have been telling me to look at like different websites. I think NZXT, for the most part, they don't have the best prices around. And disclaimer, I'm not being sponsored. I wish NZXT would sponsor me more. They've sponsored me in the past, but this is not sponsored. This for $1,600, and it's a company like NZXT, which has pretty good history by this point. And especially with them being under fire for the what's it called? The little mini PC case, as well as the their XMP stuff that Gamers Nexus covered. They've had a lot of pressure to basically force them to do better in terms of the customer service side of things. But for $1,600, we have not seen a single other website give you a 3070. And then the Ryzen 5 or i5 is what most of the other ones were giving. So yeah, let's see what Corsair has though. Its email says, is this a good $500 build? A B560M Pro motherboard, GTX 1060, i3 10100F? No. If you wait, B560 10100F, H1 case, gold power supply. Actually, I take that back. The parts you can definitely get for less than 500. It's email, but whoever built that, you know, they could be charging labor for it. I'm assuming you're buying like this used pre-built on like some secondhand market. Like if they're a flipper, they need to make some profit. So 500 is not bad, but I just built a system for like 430 something that has a GTX 1070 in it. So for 500 bucks, I would definitely push for a 1070. Okay, so Corsair, low to high. How are they sorting this? How is this sorted from low to high? Are you seeing this? $1,800, then $1,650, then $2,000, then $1,800. Is this actually their low to high? Okay. Can I set a max price? I cannot. So how am I supposed to find the actual lowest price, which looks like the 1750 system right here? So we're gonna take a look at this, the Vengeance i7300. Come on. We're looking at almost an $1,800 build, and it's still using an RTX 3060. It does have a 1270K in it, but most people out there. Okay, here we go. We're gonna end the poll. We're doing a lot of polls tonight. I like it. So the last poll results: would you trust a lifetime warranty from a pre-built company? And more than 70% of people said no. Hey, it's Joel. Thanks for coming to this stream. Take it easy. Have a good night. Yep. So, which would you rather have? Okay, so I'm running a poll because this, I hate it when companies do this. This works fine, but this would be for a person who needs a lot of processing power from the CPU specifically. And if someone's asked me if these could be paired together, yes, of course they could be paired together. But if you're talking about for gaming, this is not the best balance. You could pair an i5 just fine with the 3060. So the question is, what would you rather have? Mid-range CPU with a high-end GPU, or a high-end CPU with a mid-range GPU? And we got around 90% of the people, they would rather have a more powerful graphics card, because for gaming, that's all that matters. And even for other tasks, the mid-range CPU performs just fine. Your life, like, you're not going to notice that much of a difference in everything else you do outside of gaming when you have like an i5. A modern day i5 performs really well. When it comes to like if you're installing programs or loading something up, that CPU performs really well, and you're not going to notice the difference if you have an i5 versus an i7 for most, you know, people who use their computers to just browse, maybe do emails, you know, pretty casual stuff. But for the gaming side of things, the difference between a 3060 to say a 3080, that's gonna be a huge difference when it comes to FPS and the graphic settings you can play at. So I don't understand. I'll go back because I want to give Corsair a fair chance. Here's a 1650 PC. So here's a better pairing, but we got a 3060 Ti and a 5600X. 16 gigs of RAM, 1TB M.2. If we were looking between here's 1600 and here's 1650, $50 difference. But we've got a 3060 here versus a 3070 here. And then we got a 1TB SSD as well. So what is in this? We do have a liquid cooler in here, but I think on NZXT side, we have a Kraken 120, which I'm not a big fan of, honestly. Yeah, 120 AIO is not a fan. This one doesn't even say what size the AIO is, but these are pretty equivalent systems from the looks of it. The power supply is a little bit different, but I would say these are very comparable. And between the two, I would pick the one with the better graphics card. This one also has a flow case too, so if you're one of the sticklers about not having airflow, I mean, this case works just fine. Fong Tran, which, by the way, hey, what's up, Fong? Or Fung, I should say. Did I send you an email out? Fung is actually the winner of the GTX 1080 graphics card. I actually picked multiple winners, and I didn't get a response for the initial one. So I had to redraw after like a week, because I didn't put like a deadline to when to respond by. But yeah, people entered the giveaway and they just don't respond when they win. So yeah, I just sent that out earlier today. Guys, I don't see why Nvidia can justify enormous wattage of high-end GPUs right now. Are you talking about for the upcoming cards or the current ones? So looking at the poll, now more people have voted for the high-end CPU. So now it's like a 75-25 split. 3-to-1 about. Is anyone else annoyed? I want to talk about this because I just realized that it's been something that's been on my mind. But is anyone else annoyed that almost actually every single system integrator we looked at today, Lyte, HP, Corsair, NZXT, Alexander, does anyone notice how none of the system integrators are using AMD cards, even though that's where the value play is at right now? And I might sound like an AMD shill, but I think part of the reason that Nvidia has such a big market share is because these system integrators are putting out these systems out into the wild once people are buying it, and it's all Nvidia. They would rather put a $350+ 3050 in a system than give the customer a under $300 RX 6600. Like, at least have the option. I'm not saying get rid of the Nvidia cards and only sell RX 6600s, because I don't think that's a good idea. Because people are like wired. They're like, I always want to say brainwashed to only want Nvidia graphics cards without like the justification. There are some valid reasons to wanting Nvidia, but a lot of the people who don't even know, they just already like assume they want Nvidia without even knowing the performance differences between the two, the price to performance differences, and how capable AMD is and how good their drivers are nowadays. It's the perpetual cycle of your average Joe wanting Nvidia. Agreed. Like, let me take a look at what the market share is. And I don't know if this data is going to be accurate or not, because okay, this is WCCF Tech, which I would say is pretty reliable. And this is as of June 2022. More data from Tech Analyst. Okay, so this is discrete GPU share. And I don't know if this has to do also with like workstation cards too. I don't know if this is broken down to oh, workstation 7. Okay, so workstation numbers aren't even that high, assuming this is all correct. Yeah, so most of it is just for desktop. The workstation numbers are pretty low. And then consumer mobile. So NVIDIA is just winning across the board. But this is just within each of their own, within each company. But where's the other information? Oh, right here. 80% NVIDIA, 20% AMD. So NVIDIA has 4 times as many, assuming this is correct. And we're just going to assume for the average consumer or gamer, there's 4 times as many gaming PCs out there with NVIDIA graphics cards than AMD. I am one of the minority. Which would you rather have? So we're going to end that poll. It was a 75-25 split based on the votes. Yeah, I'm very surprised. I guess this is just based on data of like the sales that they've had and things like that. But it doesn't. It's only for systems that are on the newest generation of cards, right? It does not consider how many systems that have like RX 570s, 470s, 580s, 480s, which were very popular. It does not consider those systems floating around. So this is just like from the current generation, like new sales, things like that. What GPU do you have? I have a 6700 XT. And then best 4K monitor for gaming? Honestly, I don't know. I am interested into getting into monitor reviews, and I bought one of the tools that is necessary for that. So we'll see how that all goes when I start learning that. The monitor review space is very tiny right now. There needs to be more people who can actually get the numbers that people want from monitors and do actual reviews and not just unboxing and overviews, because those are pretty much useless. So yeah. And then I'm just gonna run this again. I forget what the split is here. I'm really hoping we do not follow the trend of what is reported here from WCCF Tech. What GPU do you have in your own current system? Everybody watching the stream right now, do you have an NVIDIA card or an AMD? Please be like a 40-60 split. Please. It's a 70-30 split right now, which isn't bad. Better than this so far. A lot of people are saying NVIDIA for now, it looks like. My next card will be AMD. I have both. Oh my goodness. Alright, you have to pick one, Tyler. If you have both, pick the one that you want represented in this poll. I think it would be more fair to pick the AMD card because it needs more representation. RX 480, very nice. I'm getting an AMD GPU for my next build, says Mike 1360. Yes. Can we convert more people? AMD's gonna, here's the thing though, Brian. So Brian Robinson says AMD's gonna take the performance crown next gen. I don't think it matters. If AMD takes the performance crown, people are still gonna buy NVIDIA. That's how like much of a grasp NVIDIA has on most gamers out there. I've changed, says Jason Whitmer. I mean, the only thing I have against NVIDIA cards is how all of them, the cards that people care about, are still over MSRP. 2 years after the fact. With releases coming around the corner. I'm sorry, NVIDIA, your stuff's not that good to retain that much value over that long of a time. Oh, we got people with the R9 290X still. KL130 has a 750 Ti. But yes, please, what are you going to replace it with, Kale? It's the RX 6600 up for consideration. That would be a huge upgrade. Coffee. Christopher Coonan, I do not drink coffee, but now that I'm sick right now, I am drinking tea. But thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I never got into coffee. It's always, for me, caffeine is energy drinks. JG Wright, in this machine, a 8GB 5500 XT Nitro. Oh man, the 5500 XT. Honestly, the AMD 5000 series cards just seem like they never existed, just because, you know, of the timing of the pandemic and everything like that. You don't drink it either? I will make sure to spend it on either a throat soothing or a caffeine filled drink. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Master Singleton, I still kept my old R7 370 for streaming and esports titles. Master Singleton, you mean streaming on like Twitch and stuff? Are you streaming with the AMD encoder with the like an old card, the R7 370? How's that going? I haven't played with one of those cards for a long time. Hey, what's up, King Brandon 913? Welcome to the stream. We're almost near the end of the stream now, to be honest. We've actually held a concurrent 200 plus viewers the whole time, so I want to say thank you to everyone out there who just came to the stream and hung out. You know, we talked about Overkill, then we talked about a whole bunch of other pre-built companies and started looking at their prices. But I think for tonight, so we looked at like Alexander PC, Lyte, Build Redux, Apex, HP Omen. Holy crap. Yeah, we did look at like 6 or 7 companies. In terms of like a $1,500 price range, the best one that I could find is NZXT, solely for the fact that they actually give you a 3070 and everybody gives you a 3060. But always do your due diligence. Always, you know, take a look around. Always do your shopping, right? A PC is a pretty expensive purchase. Don't just buy it willy-nilly. Do your research, compare prices online, compare it to PC Part Picker, and see, you know, what's the best value for you. Andrew Woodford, member for 9 months. Andrew, are you there right now? Or is that just an update thing and you're still at the gym right now? Fung Tran says, I'm getting a GTX 1080 from you, so still Team Green. Oh, I just contributed to another Team Green member out in the wild. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. What did Patrick McGovern say? My wife's streams are... What? Axolotls on Twitch? What is that? What game is that? Why does that sound familiar? Well, that's not a game. Oh, Axolotl. It's a salamander? Your wife streams your salamanders on Twitch? I was like, is that a game? They're small amphibians. It's a salamander closely related to the tiger salamander. Okay, okay. Oh, it's In the Groove? Dude, In the Groove is not the same. The center button messes it up. It is not the same as DDR. Thanks for the water reminder, Kevin Go. Oh, what about when it comes to AMDs? Yeah, that's good. All right, so we're going to end the poll. It's about a 70-30 split, which is better than outside of the community around the world, according to WCCF Tech. I'm actually curious about this next one, AMD versus Intel. I mean, AMD, up until, I guess, 10th and 12th gen Intel, AMD... starting in, what was that, 2016? Ryzen really, I feel like Ryzen kind of took over. But let's see what people have in their systems as of right now. AMD is winning, so they might not be winning on the graphics card front, but at least they have the CPU front, which NVIDIA does not even have, so. Was it 2017? What, let me see. When did Ryzen release? They officially announced it in December 2016. Okay, and it wasn't ready until the next couple of months in early 2017. Okay, yeah. So okay, now I'm remembering correctly. there was lots of news and leaks and things like that for Ryzen during 2016. I remember because that was my first year getting into YouTube, so that was a lot of the stuff that was being talked about. So this is interesting. We almost have the same split that's reversed, with AMD winning on the CPU side of things. Hey, it's Joel says, father of 802.11a. That's the, wait, did Chris mention that? Because I think that's in Chris's, stream, not his stream, his Twitter profile, that he's the father of Wi-Fi. Chris, do you talk about that a lot, but I tried to look it up. Right, I tried to look for your name and like the Wi-Fi and the invention of Wi-Fi, and I couldn't find anything like that. Can you give us more backstory about how you helped work on Wi-Fi? Nobody believed AMD was gonna do crap. They fooled everyone. Not gonna lie, as a consumer, I was always told AMD is garbage. Yeah, I mean, the AMD FX series, they weren't bad processors for the time, because I remember I had quite a few of them, and then the Phenom 2 processors as well. But I think back then people still preferred Intel. Up until Ryzen releasing, most people I knew had Intel. You signed an NDA in 1998. You worked for Symbol. How old were you in 1998? I can't do the math based on your age, being like in your mid 40s. But you worked for Cybol Technology. Never heard of this. Mobile data capture equipment. Okay. I'm trying to search for your name. Okay, I found your LinkedIn. I'll have to look through this. Got it. AMD bang for buck, Intel when you have a little bit of extra money. I don't know, man. In terms of like the low-end processors, Intel kind of bang for buck. The i3s, oh man. Yellow Dap says, what type of CPU should I have? Intel or AMD? Honestly, there's good options from both up and down the product stack and across multiple generations. So I recommend both still. Depends on what price I can get what for and what they need the PC for. Do you think? Oh yeah, okay. So we got a 60-40 split with the AMD and Intel poll. So that's actually pretty decent. I mean, that's the closest poll that we've run today. But someone in the chat just asked a pretty good question. Do you think AMD going DDR5 only will hurt the 7000 series launch? So my next question is, like, if you're building a system right now, does the difference between performance for DDR4 and DDR5 matter to you? Like, would you actively pay more for DDR5 right now if you had the option to still stay on DDR4? Because, yeah, like for Intel's 12th gen, right? There are motherboards that support either or. For the stuff on my channel, I've been picking DDR4. I just do not think DDR5 is worth paying for. I've not seen any other benchmarks or performance numbers that has been published out there by anyone else that shows any notable performance that's worth paying that much more for the RAM and for the motherboards too, because the DDR5 motherboards cost more. So I'm curious what we got. Okay, so most people agree with me, it looks like. More than 85% say no. Master Singleton says, I will stay with DDR4 for a while, and DDR5 is still in its infancy. It's not worth it. Kevin Go says, what's for dinner? Honestly, I think leftovers from LAN. We barbecued chicken thighs. I have some corn. Have some steaks still packed up. With some rice, maybe. I've been eating the leftover LAN pho for the last couple of days because I'm sick, but I just ran out of the pho. So I need to eat the other LAN leftovers. The Joker says, hell no, I'm not getting DDR5. Yeah, it looks like majority of the people in here agree with that. Frozen rice. No, we actually cooked rice recently, so we have some refrigerated rice. Christopher Coonan says, and due to signing the NDA, you'll never find anyone except for Cybotech on the patent. No names, just Cybo. So I got shafted for a cushy job. Yeah, it kind of sucks. If they can't find your name, how can you prove to other employers that you're trying to get a job for, that you did things and worked on certain things? So... Oh, symbol? Is it pronounced symbol? Oh, jeez. I just read it without the M for whatever reason. Symbol. Have you ever checked out Ironside Computers Prebuilt or Custom Prebuilt? We can take a quick look, but this will be the last thing. Oops. Ironside Computers. I've heard of them, but I've never really looked at their website. Ironside. Oh, this website's doing a little too much. Ironside series. So we're gonna look at a $1,500 system again. And what? Let's see. Oh, they have a $1,300. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, why are they playing these videos in the background? Using up all my resources. Okay. What do we got here? We got, oh man, they take a big jump between bronze and silver. So we got a 12400 and a 2060 and a 1400. It's basically a $1,400 system. You're 28 bucks shy from a $1,400 system. And you're talking about an i5, which this is fine. But we're talking about a last gen mid-range card and a 256 gigabyte. Yeah, I think this tells me all I need to know about Ironside. Not worth it. Stay far, far away. 256 gigabyte SSD. You're charging people this much for a system, and you can't even be bothered to put a 500 gigabyte, which I still think isn't enough. But you put a 256. What the heck is that? And RTX 2060. Are you kidding me? Jeez. Yeah, so that's all you need to know about Ironside Gaming PCs, apparently. Yeah, so you don't want to be locked into DDR4 when your CPU supports DDR5. Yeah, so if you're well aware of the choice and you choose DDR4, I think that's perfectly fine, because that was the case for me. But yeah, I think people put a lot of emphasis on like expensive RAM, BDI, and all that stuff. But if you actually look at the numbers of how much performance difference it makes, I honestly would rather have more RAM capacity than the marginal increases from like the speeds and latency, or like going DDR5. Like, I'd rather much double my RAM capacity for like the same price. Is Skytech Gaming legit? Yeah, Skytech, I knew of them initially from Amazon. So Skytech Gaming PCs, I think they still sell on Amazon, but that's where I started seeing the name Skytech initially. It wasn't through their website, but let's look at what they have here for $1,500. Yeah, there's so many system integrators out there. So just learning about them, I think this is pretty useful. This is out of stock. They had a sale. 5600X 3070. This is it right here. Normally this is $1,600, but they had a sale, and of course it's out of stock because they're giving you a 1TB SSD, 3070. You got 16 gigabytes of RAM, B550 as we've been seeing, and you got a 5600X. This is on par with the NZXT computer essentially, except it was a little cheaper when they put it on sale, plus free shipping. That's nice. But it is out of stock for good reason, because this is priced well. A build under $1,500 that has a 3070 in it and doesn't skimp out on SSD and things like that. So I'm liking what I see from the first thing I clicked on Skytech. I didn't have too high of an opinion on Skytech gaming PCs from what I saw on Amazon, but that was like a year or two ago. I think they've definitely stepped up their game. Let's take a look at what else they have real quick. The Shiva. So this uses an in-wind case. They got a 3060 Ti in here for under 1,400 bucks. 5600X, 1 terabyte SSD. So yeah, just look at these prices already. Where most companies would give you a 3060, that they're giving you a 3060 Ti. Looking at two of their PCs, I would say Skytech is a good option for everybody in the chat who was just asking about, you know, I'm considering looking at Corsair or something like that. It looks like Skytech and NZXT were the best finds tonight for value in pre-built PCs. Oh, I want to give you all a heads up too. Next week, so are you aware of Phoenix PCs? I think we briefly talked about them in previous streams. But does everyone know what Phoenix PCs is? Hey, let's see. How is their build quality? Mohammed Beg, honestly, for a company that builds thousands of PCs, most of the time build quality and cable management are going to be pretty good. You do hear your horror stories, but I'm pretty sure every company has like a low 1, 2, 3%, you know, like below quality stuff that they send out. But for the most part, building a PC, as you've probably seen on my channel and multiple channels out there, it's pretty simple, especially if you've done it for long enough. So I wouldn't worry about any of these companies sending you stuff that's like put together bad. I honestly think for an experienced person, it's hard to put together a PC badly. It is harder to do that than to put it together like well. Let's just say that. But for Skytech, I've seen and heard people on like social media and even people in the chat have bought from Skytech with good experiences. So I wouldn't worry about too much about that there. Yeah, so Phoenix PC is the former employees of Artesian that came together to make an employee-owned company. So I think they have they have a team picture here as well as some like intro videos. So they actually reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in checking out some of their builds. And I said sure, because honestly, for me, the more system integrators are out there, the more competition, the more they're gonna, like, all the different companies are gonna have to be looking at each other and adjusting their prices to try to stay competitive. So Phoenix entering to replace, you know, Artesian with their huge, massive failure. And, you know, these are people who enjoyed building PCs. This is the East Coast team too. I'm told that this is the East Coast team, which if you watch Gamers Next's super in-depth video and coverage on it, it was the West Coast team that Noah did the builds on and was trying to like build all the PCs for the big streamers and famous people. Whereas the East Coast team was what handled most of the PCs that went to normal consumers like you and I, and had way lower like returns, RMAs, and like problems with the PCs that they sent out. So, you know, this is just people who kind of had the rug pulled out from under them because their CEO was incompetent and was a jackass, and they lost their jobs because of it. So they came together and they made Phoenix PC so that they could continue doing what they love, building PCs and, you know, providing a service for the community. So I'm always down for that. So they are interested in sending over 2 PCs, and they're trying to do the same thing as Artesian, build the PCs live on stream. So they invited us to actually come watch them build the PCs, as well as answer any questions that anybody had. So during their stream, it's going to be next week, coinciding with this stream. I think I'm going to pull up their stream and try to hop on a call with them so that we could ask them questions and just watch them build, as well as you guys, if you have any questions about, stuff that happened on Artesian or how they picked up the pieces and became Phoenix PCs, you guys in the chat can also ask, and they said they would be happy to answer. So, this is not a sponsored video. This is not a sponsored deal. I'm not making any money from this. They are just trying to get their name out there because they're starting over again, right? So they want to show what they're capable of putting out, and yeah. So I was down to check it out. So I think that'd be fun to be able to like probe them and ask questions and all of that. Master Singleton says, let's see. Oh, actually, no. Christopher Cooning says, oh, yeah, the East Coast Artesian team, that was the actual talent. Yeah, so that was, I think, that was covered by Steve, right? The guy on the left, you said, looks like Linus. But yeah, these people seem pretty cool based on what I've seen. Just the interviews. They've had interviews with multiple people just to kind of like put out there what actually happened during the meltdown of Artesian. And I was able to quickly hop on a call with them and talk to them, and they seem pretty chill. So I'm down for reviewing one of their systems, and then yeah, so that'll be content like weeks down the line. But the stream next week would be them building these, so you can see like their build process and their labor. Does Star-Lord really talk like a character off stream? Yes, please. Okay, we have the opportunity to ask former Artesian employees things about their company as well as their old boss. I'm sure they have to be careful about what they say so that they don't get like sued, because I think there's ongoing litigation right now just with everything going on. So they probably have to be a little careful with answering some of the questions. But yeah, please come with as many questions as you want. If you have any questions about system integrators in general, they said they would be happy to answer. Like if you have any questions for what it's like to run a PC building business like this, the the overhead costs, things like that, come ready with questions next week. I think it'll be pretty fun. And I'm always down for, shining spotlight on companies that may hopefully potentially deserve it. They haven't messed up yet, so we'll see. McCoy's Game Room. I have an AMD RX 570 series GPU in my build. What is a good upgrade in the 30 series card lineup? Man, you're gonna go from AMD to NVIDIA after what we just talked about? Anytime you ask for a recommendation, whether it be GPU or anything else, you have to put out a price. Like, what are you looking to spend? What is the max you're trying to spend? Because if I'm going to say replace that RX 570 with an RX 6600, or actually the 6700 XT is also a good option. But it depends on how much you have to spend. Nobo says, how's engineering work? I'm trying to get an engineering degree. So engineering work, depending on what company you work for, but I feel I have a lot of friends in engineering. There are some companies that let you be hands-on and you do a lot of stuff. You do the computational side of things as well as the hands-on building or manufacturing of things. There are other companies, which I feel like a majority of the bigger companies, Fortune 500 companies, the ones that have like literally tens if not hundreds of thousands of employees, in those ones, sometimes you might get stuck in a job that is very cubically office feeling. That's what my job is. I sit at a computer basically all day and I run numbers. So it could be all over the place. If you have a desk job where you're sitting at a computer 8 hours a day, that could get pretty boring pretty fast. But it all depends on what you're looking for. A lot of the other companies, especially the small startup ones, you're going to be working a lot more hours. You probably won't get paid as much as the bigger companies, but you get to do more hands-on fun stuff. But I don't know, it's a work-life balance thing. Like, I definitely need to make enough money for the time I'm putting in, slaving away at a 9 to 5. Anthony Tran says, how was LAN? LAN was good. I got a Frostmourne sword out of it. I got a lot of good footage. It's going to be a good LAN video, I think. Is there any specific brands of 6600 XT you'd recommend over others? I honestly like Sapphire cards, and some of the Power Color cards, like the Hellhounds, I like a lot. But I mean, I've used the Gigabyte Eagle OC one. That one's fine too. I would say Gigabyte kind of has a reputation for not having the best customer service should anything go wrong. But the Gigabyte cards are, again, one of the cheaper ones when you sort from low to high. You can usually save like 20 or 30 bucks. It's one of the lowest priced ones usually. What mic are you using? This is the NZXT Capsule. Personally, if I was coming from the RX 570, I would look for the 3060 at a minimum. The 3050 was way better. Yeah, so I definitely wouldn't get anything that's in the range of a 3050 or the 6500 XT. But on AMD's side, you could easily get, for the price of a 3060, you can almost get a... You could definitely get a 6650 XT, which is going to be better than it. But, I mean, if you want to go NVIDIA, you can stick with that. Yeah, but buying new, says Christy, the 6600 is easily the best value card. It really is. For under 300 bucks, which most people can get it for that. What RGB strip? I use Gobi strips because you can control it on your phone and with the remote. And Gobi is one of the most like known brands on Amazon. But yeah. AMD voice is almost out. Yes, that's going to be very, very nice. I don't think I really need it though. We don't have too much noise for what I do on stream. But it's cool that they're coming out with competition to some of the other features that the NVIDIA fanboys always tout. Like, oh, Shadow Play, which NVIDIA does have Relive. Or they have their equivalent recording. But then like RTX voice, well now you're going to have a AI noise suppression from AMD side as well. So yeah, this is going to make the competition spicy and better. I haven't used the noise suppression tech yet, no. I do know RTX voice was pretty dang amazing. It is crazy how good that was at the noise suppression. So hopefully AMD can deliver something just as good, if not better. From how's the mic quality sound in general for the stream? Because honestly, I'm not an audio / video guy. Like if the audio is good enough, I'm not gonna touch it. Or if the camera quality is good enough, I'm not gonna touch it. Like I feel like there's a lot of content creators who spend a lot of time and money obsessing about mic quality and camera quality and not the content quality. Like, once you get to a certain level, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, spending extra time shooting in 4K, trying to release videos in 4K, 60 FPS, none of that matters. All my videos are 1080p, 30 FPS. I've rarely received complaints, and sound quality-wise, unless this mic starts going out, I don't see a need to replace it. I am not adding any deep voice sound effect. The only thing I have added on right now is like a noise gate on here as well as some noise suppression. But I'm also trying to hold back a cough as I'm talking right now. So I don't know if that is adding to like the trying to make it sound deep voice like like as I'm talking, I'm holding back a cough. So yeah. Yeah, like Star-Lord. I am also just losing my voice. Just due to LAN and being sick. Okay, we are 2.5 hours into stream. I would say this was a very successful stream. We had chat lit all night. We got more members to add to this list. I gotta add more members to this list now. But I want to thank everyone for, as always, being here. Especially, you all know who you are. The people who are here week in and week out. Yeah, you just help keep the stream going. You drive good discussion. For the people in the chat who definitely help out because I cannot answer every chat question when I'm also trying to like share stuff on screen and talk about stuff. So to the people who are always there being helpful, to the mods, I want to thank you. Again, next week we do have Phoenix PCs. They're going to be building some systems that they want to send over for review. So that would be a chance for us to see their new digs in terms of their new streaming setup, their new building, as well as ask questions about Artesian and their new company. So definitely tune in next week for that. It will be the same time as always, and I think it'll be a fun time. But other than that, I hope you all have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week and weekend coming up. I don't have any videos ready to go for this week just because of the LAN. I need to start sorting through the footage, but there are some other fun videos that are going to be coming out with the LAN. As always, there's always some surprise stuff with LAN, and they have their own videos, so that's going to be fun to do. Brian Robinson with the $20 dono right here as we're closing out on the stream. I really do appreciate that. Thank you for that super chat, and you hope that I get to feeling better. I do too, because being sick in the middle of a heat wave sucks. Like, I'm feeling so chilled that I like usually wrap myself up with a blanket. I didn't want to do it on stream, but again, I said earlier, I'm running a heater underneath the desk because I'm actually feeling cold in the middle of the heat wave that we have going on now. So yeah, I hope I get better soon too. And thanks for the well wishes. Everybody else, have a great rest of your night, and I will see you all next week, as well as on other socials like Twitter and such. Bye bye.